Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. In today's video I've got two stories for you and both of them have updates. And also, if you enjoy my videos and have not yet subscribed, hopefully today is the day you hit that subscribe button. Now let's get started with today's first story. This post is from the subreddit Relationship Advice and it's by user Deleted. My 32 female boyfriend, 35 male, got in an accident in my car, didn't tell me and now refuses to do anything about it. Throwaway because this crap is embarrassing as F. I have been with my 32 female boyfriend, 35 male, for a little over 3 years. Every once in a while, I will let him drive my car when he is low on gas or if he has a good parking spot and doesn't want to move, etc. So, a couple of weeks ago, I got a call from my insurance company letting me know they needed a statement about the accident. What? After a solid 45 minutes of adamantly proclaiming this lady was full of crap and that there was no accident, the insurance rep said, "Well, we have a report that boyfriend's name was in an accident in a parking lot on this date claiming he was driving his girlfriend's car." Oh, I called my boyfriend and he denied it up and down that there was no accident. I explained the call I received and he replies with, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that." Apparently, he had been dodging calls for over a month and did not tell me any of this was going on. There was no damage to my car, so there was no reason for me to think anything had happened. So yesterday, I was trying to work out with the insurance company details and get him to make a statement, and it's impossible. He stopped responding to my texts about the situation, so I called him. He clears it. I called him again. He clears it. He texts me, "I am with my parents." Okay, but this is a serious situation and I need to speak with you about it. Can you please answer? "I don't want to fight with you in front of my parents." This isn't a fight. I need details about the accident from you. He won't take my call. So I sent him kind of a crappy text, something along the lines of, "You can't even show me the respect to take my call about something serious? This isn't even a real relationship to you." Silence. Finally, about 2 hours of radio silence and me very upset, I called again and he says, "I don't have the energy to do this with you right now. I'm painting. I don't want to talk." And I say, "Well, what about my feelings? What about me?" And he says, "What about you?" and hangs up. I haven't heard from him since. I know he is waiting for me to break down and contact him, as that has historically been the case. I need some help drafting my response to this situation. I am frozen in shock and pain and I'm at a loss for what the next step is. Wow, OP, are you sure this guy's 35? I'm sorry, but I just cannot believe that a 35-year-old would behave this way. And he kept deflecting like this was gonna be a fight. Of course it was gonna be a fight if he didn't want to take responsibility for what he did. So if I were you, I would say, well, this is the hugest red flag he could ever wave and this is the end for this thing. You don't need this kind of crap. You don't need this person in your life at all. However, what you also don't need in your life is having to deal with this mess because of him. So maybe you can talk to your insurance. If he was the one in the accident, well, I don't know, the insurance is not going to care, but maybe you could work with a lawyer or something like that to get him to take full responsibility and to get him to pay for whatever damage he's supposed to be paying. He knew this was happening. He dodged calls for over a month. Unfortunately, OP, I don't have much to go on from what you wrote, but I know I wouldn't let this one sit. I wouldn't roll over and just take it. Please do not do that. Kick him to the curb, and if you can make him pay, make him pay. And what do you guys think about OP's situation? How would you deal with this particular piece of crap? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Deleted says, "Are you absolutely positive that he isn't actually just 3 children in a trench coat?" Stormy Llewellyn says, "He's 35? Seriously? Dump his ass. He got into an accident in your car, didn't tell you, denies it, acts like he forgot, and then won't speak to you about it? Wow, I can't even express how fast I'd be out of that relationship." Vodka Philosophy says, I'm not sure what happens if you tell the insurance company he's refusing to cooperate, as in if they take legal action against him in some way to force him to cooperate or what, but maybe call and ask them. Let him know what they say and that he has exactly one chance to give you the details you need, or you will give all of his personal contact information to the insurance company or police if that's what the insurance company recommends. I honestly don't know. So that they can go after him for whatever they need. Regardless of what ends up happening with this one situation, you need to dump him because holy crap does he take avoidance to a stupid extreme. And Impossible Camp says, what the hell? You need to dump this man-child who clearly has shown over and over and over again that he does not care about you or your feelings. The fact that he didn't even have enough respect for you to tell you that he crashed your car in the first place speaks volumes. But then, how he acted when he got caught? This is not okay. Additional information from OP's comments. This is just embarrassing. It's super lame to realize you've wasted a year of your life on someone who can't be a man. I guess up until this point, I have been unwilling to admit he doesn't wish to participate in our relationship beyond his comfort and convenience. The part I am struggling with the most is, what have I done in this relationship to make it seem like it would be totally okay to blow off this situation in the manner he is? Have I really excused that much crappiness from him to where he thinks that I will just shrug and handle it? Taking it as far as to get upset at me? I'm so frustrated. Who are these people who just refuse to take responsibility for the crappy messes they created themselves? I couldn't live with myself with that hanging over my head. I'm just grateful that no one was hurt. I think I might actually have to tell his mother. That would be the worst thing in the world to him, and 100% why I think he didn't take my call in front of her. He didn't want her to know any of this was going on because she would be mad. Unfortunately, his parents think the sun shines right out of his ass. They also aren't terribly enthused about our relationship. They come from a lot of money, and I don't. And I'm a single mom. They think I'm looking for a meal ticket and have apparently warned him about me in the past. When I asked him why he didn't tell me when it happened, he claimed he forgot because it wasn't that big of a deal. I think he was just hiding from the situation, as that is what he is doing now. From what my insurance says, the lady just wants her deductible paid out, $500, to get her bumper fixed. Dumb boyfriend says that it was barely a scratch, so that seems like a lot of money. I like the idea of talking to the chick directly. My policy does not cover him and we do not live together. I am probably just going to pay out and cut my losses. OP's edit update. So after not talking to me for hours, he contacted me. The text I just got was, "We have the kind of love that was forged in adventure and sealed in the bedroom." What? No mention of the accident or the fight? How do I even respond to this? With a, "We're done, come get your crap." Okay, well, the community was also in awe of how much of an immature prick this guy is. A 35-year-old man who can't actually face the consequences of his actions. And it's not even a huge accident. Apparently, it was some sort of fender bender with a scratch and that was it. What an idiot. Anyway, it seems OP's gonna give him the boot, so it's time to move on to the update to see what happens next. But also, don't forget to click that like button and maybe write a comment about what you think. Now, let's move on to the update. You guys, I can't. First of all, I want to say a huge thank you for the responses I received on my last post. I was straight up blown away by the support, suggestions, and compassion total strangers showed me. Some of y'all had me dying laughing in one of the crappiest times of my adult life. A very kind gentleman from Scotland even offered to pay for my daughter and me to go out to a nice meal together because he noticed in the thread that I mentioned I was a single mom. Reddit rules. So, I know most of you said ghost him, but I just couldn't. While undoubtedly that is what he deserved, I needed to hear from his perspective why he thought any of this was okay before I could close the door. And honestly, I am glad I did because it solidified for me that this relationship was an excellent learning experience. That I had done my learning and it was time to move the F on. His avoidance of the situation was explained by his thinking this wasn't that big of a deal. He said that he didn't understand why this lady was making such a big fuss about her bumper and that I was unreasonably upset about it, and he didn't want to talk about it until I had calmed down. Oh, hell no. I kept it together until I got his side of the story. According to him, they were both backing out of their parking spots and smacked into each other. She was all the way out of her spot and he was halfway out of hers when bang! I literally dialed the phone and sat with him while he called the insurance rep and gave his statement. He was found at fault due to his being halfway out of the spot. I am not 100% sure what this means for me, my policy, or my pocket yet. And as far as the relationship, it's done. When he came over to talk, I had all his things packed up. I tried to explain how hurt and disappointed I was about his actions and told him that I could no longer trust him because of how terribly he handled this situation. He said, and I crap you not, "Oh please, you just set a fire and expected me to come to your rescue and put it out, and when I didn't, you threw a fit. I'm sorry, I just didn't have the energy to put out your fire. This is your damn fire set by your crappy actions and fueled by your avoidance." I burst into tears, handed him the bag and said I needed him to leave. Now, I told him anything of mine left at his place he can throw away or leave there until his next victim or mother comes and cleans it for him. Speaking of his mother, I did listen to you and crafted a very detailed email to her with him CC'd. I explained what happened and then asked her for his driver's license number, policy name, and ID number just in case it's needed. Her response was, "I am very sorry that you're having to deal with all of this, but I don't see how this is our problem if it was your car." Honestly, if it had been me in his car, you best believe his family would expect me to pay for any damages, and they have stupid money. Yeah, his mom never really was my biggest fan, but I vindictively thought it would bring a little heat down on him since he didn't see any consequences to his actions. Unfortunately, she just gave him a big fat free pass to act like crap. I feel like this whole family is a bunch of lizard people sent to Earth to make me question my reality. I am so effing hurt by this. Like, if it were anyone, I would apologize up and down and sideways and do whatever I needed to do to take the burden and solve the problem. Oh, and let me tell you this, just because the relationship is over doesn't mean I'm going to stop obsessing anytime soon. Now's the fun time where you dissect every single conversation, look for signs, and go crazy. And yes, once it is determined how much this is going to affect my rates and my pockets, I will be taking his cartoon quoting ass to small claims court. I have already spoken to my attorney about it. Something that would have taken up 30 minutes of my life has now ended a relationship and resulted in a lawsuit because this mother effer can't face reality. I'm really looking forward to the sweet vindication of the court. Part of me wants to find a way to passive-aggressively direct him and his mother to my post so that they can see I'm not the crazy one. This court is going to take a while and I want some satisfaction now. Anyway, single at 32 again. Woot! I think I'll be alright. My kid adores me, my dog thinks I'm cool, and Reddit has been pretty good to me for the past couple of days. I can't be a total wank, right? Still, the last I saw my ex, he was carrying a duffel bag full of cologne bottles and gym clothes back to his car, like a Jersey Shore audition reject. Thanks again for all the love and laughs. If it weren't for all of this positive feedback I've been getting, I would have had a much darker outlook on this situation. Much love. Well, OP, I of course agree with you that this whole situation sucks, but the silver lining is that you are no longer in a relationship with a 35-year-old mama's boy. And also that you're gonna stand up for yourself and take him to claims court. You're not gonna roll over and take it. So here's wishing you the best in the future, OP. Thank you so much for sharing and take care. And now let's move on to the next post that, like I said in the beginning, also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Relationships and it's my user RoomieLove Throwaway. I, 24 female, am desperately falling in love with my roommate, 28 male, and I have no idea how to tell him without ruining everything. So, my best friend Theo and I have been friends for about 5 years and really close for about 3 years. We've always lived in bordering states, and throughout our friendship, at least one of us has always been in a relationship. So most of our friendship was kind of long distance in a way, and the opportunity for romance was never available. But he is my go-to person for everything. He knows more about me than anyone on this planet and vice versa. Our significant others were always jealous because we're just closer than most best friends are. Anyway, I moved across the country about a year and a half ago and finally managed to convince Theo to move out here and live with me. We both work in the same profession, so I've been able to hook him up with jobs pretty easily. And for the first time, both of us are single at the same time. He's been living here for 3 months and it's been the best 3 months ever. Every day I wake up and he's one of the first things I see, and I'm always so happy. We have very similar values and are very easygoing, so living together is super easy, and we just have the best time every day. So cue the romance. There was a time about 2 years ago when we attended a friend's wedding together way up on this beautiful mountain, and I think I fell in love with him that weekend. It was one of the best days of my life. I suppressed these feelings though because I was in a relationship with someone who knew that I was planning on moving and that we would break up eventually. It didn't make sense to me to pursue Theo at the time, not just because I knew that I would be moving soon, but also because I value his friendship so much that I would rather keep him around as a friend. But the feelings haven't really gone away. We've openly talked about not dating because we value each other's friendship, and we've even tried dating other people since he moved here, but they never stick around because, and I quote, "we set the standards too high for each other." I feel like things may be changing and he may be feeling similarly as well. Lately, he's been making jokes about how we're basically a married couple. We fall asleep on the couch together all the time. We do everything together. We are the best team. When he describes his ideal girlfriend, he literally describes me. Idest, someone I have a lot in common with, non-dramatic, is passionate about what they do, has freckles. I'm not sure if he's hinting at things to get me to notice or if he's subconsciously trying to find someone just like me. If I told him how I felt, here are the problems. 1, I am everything he has out here. I've introduced him to all my friends and now they're all of his friends. I've told him to try maybe finding other social situations, but the thing is that we just get along with a lot of the same people. 2, we live together. And 3, if he doesn't actually feel the same way, I've single-handedly ruined the best friendship I've ever had. I told him I would be devastated if he decided to move out of the city, but if our friendship suffered too, I don't know how I could handle that. He is everything to me in so many ways. Do I wait until he has his own social circle? Do I hold off on telling him? Should I just try to date other people? I'm so confused and it turns to hold onto these feelings. But I'd be willing to wait until the end of the earth if it meant that we could have the best possible outcome. Hold on, OP. Has freckles? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that he is exactly hinting at you that you are his ideal girlfriend. I mean, he moved across the country to live with you, and I'm pretty sure that it's not just because of the labor opportunities, because it seems like you guys are freelancers. He could do that from everywhere. At least I'm assuming that since you said you could get him many jobs. Now, here's the thing, OP. At some point, you need to take the dive because it won't be fair for any of your other relationships if you never do just because you want to hold on to this friendship. This will never be a friendship. You're in love with him. So if I was in your shoes, I'd bite the bullet and see what happens. And what do you guys think about OP's predicament? How would you go about it? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. The Darkest Beer Stout says, would it be an acceptable outcome if he said no? If that seems handle-able, I think you should tell him that you'd like to try dating. There's never going to be a perfect time. And OP responds, it would be, but I'm just really afraid of isolating him, especially if we live in the same house and he has nowhere else to stay or hang out. Squat Farts says, why do people always feel it is necessary to lay it all on the table in these situations? Why not just plan a nice night out alone with some drinks, be a bit flirty and see where it goes? Seduce the guy if you like him. And Deleted says, I'm sure you'll get some incredible and mature advice here, OP. That being said, can't you guys get something to drink at home and just kinda chill and see what happens? And OP responds, haha, I mean, we do that pretty regularly. We'll split a bottle of wine and hang out, and it usually leads to some level of back rubs or minor cuddling. I think it's just time to address the elephant in the room. Alright, well, the community gave OP what they thought about OP's situation, and I think OP is ready to address the elephant in the room, as she says. So let's move on to the update and see how this story ends. Okay, so this issue has been driving me crazy lately to the point where I'm actually becoming stressed out about it pretty hardcore. I called one of my best girlfriends, I called my sister, I prepared an entire mental speech for him at my birthday party this Friday. I finally started to accept that it was time to lay my cards all out on the table. Then, last night, we were just hanging out like we usually do, drinking a bottle of wine, playing music, drawing, talking about life. We ended up under the desk and he said, I'm gonna cuddle you. So we cuddled, nothing crazy yet. But then we fell asleep cuddling, and the next thing I knew, he was sleeping, pressing his face against my cheek and kissing it. I pulled back to look at him and see if he was for real, and then he went in and kissed me. Boom! Fireworks! We talked a bunch after a really heavy makeout session, and it turns out that we have been exactly on the same page for 3 years. This doesn't feel real. I was shaking and cried happy tears as he told me everything that was on his mind. I'm really excited to see where this goes. I've never felt this way about anyone before. Smiley face with a tear. Alright OP, well, happy update. This is good news, great for the both of you. So not really much more to say except here's wishing you the best in the future. Take care OP and thank you for sharing. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out. So here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.